Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Pittsburgh Steelers cut ties with former small school star Wr. The Pittsburgh Steelers have cut ties with practice squad wide receiver Lance McCutcheon, the team announced. They signed former All-Pro returner Jamal Agnew to the practice squad. Agnew also plays wide receiver, and with Quez Watkins, Brandon Johnson, and 6 wide receivers on the active roster, there was only need for so many receivers. Agnew brings upside, while McCutcheon is on the outside looking in. McCutcheon signed with the Steelers before they played the New York Jets, his former team. Since then, he has played on the scout team offense, helping prepare the Steelers for games, but someone like Agnew can match the Ravens' speed in that regard. McCutcheon has spent most of his time in the NFL with the Jets as an undrafted free agent out of Montana State. McCutcheon stood out in his final season at Montana State, breaking out for an All-American season that put him firmly on the sidelines of NFL scouts. However, he has yet to parlay that into a consistent NFL gig. When the Baltimore Ravens take the field against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 11, it will mark something wholly new for Charm City's football franchise, their first showdown against Steelers QB Russell Wilson. Now granted, the Ravens have played against Wilson before earlier in the former Wisconsin Badgers' career, with the Ebony Birds facing off against him twice as a member of the Seattle Seahawks, in 2015 and 2019, and again in 2022, when he was still a member of the Denver Broncos, but this time is different. Why? Because he will be wearing a black, white, and yellow jersey with a logo on only one side of his helmet. Asked for his assessment of Wilson ahead of Week 11, Ravens coach John Harbaugh noted just how challenging he can be to defend, as not only can he still throw and scramble with the best of them, but you never really know who will get the ball when he's under center. Russell Wilson is making plays in the passing game for them. He's done a good job in the boots, the play action, drop-back passes, Harbaugh told reporters. He's using the full depth of the field. He's always been known for throwing the Russell Wilson deep ball, so he does that. He gets out and runs around, scrambles around, makes some throws, makes a couple runs here and there, so he's kind of doing what he's always done, and that's always impressive. Now sure, the Steelers will almost certainly get the ball to players like Najee Harris and George Pickens early and often in Week 11 just like they do practically every week, but when you consider just how much talent is on the Steelers roster, you never know, maybe this will be the week Wilson gets something going to Calvin Austin, Scotty Miller, Cordarrelle Patterson, or another one of the team's supporting cast members. Tre'Davious White assesses Russell Wilson ahead of Ravens' debut. The Baltimore Ravens have the NFL's worst passing defense, as the unit allows nearly 295 passing yards per game. In an effort to bolster the secondary, the Ravens acquired Tre'Davious White from the Los Angeles Rams at the trade deadline. While White didn't play in Baltimore's shootout victory over the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 10, he's ready to go on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The veteran cornerback's first task with the Ravens is to slow down the Russell Wilson-led Steelers offense. I haven't gotten to watch the Steelers too much when they were with Justin Fields, so I don't know what the difference is between he and Russell Wilson in the offense, but what I do know is the Steelers are a hard-nosed group that's always been historic. There's history with them, White explained, per a press conference transcript provided by the team's official site. I had an opportunity to play against them a couple times when I was with Buffalo, so I already know what the Steelers are about. They're about playing tough defense, running the ball and then making big plays on the outside. So, with any team on defense, if you limit big-time plays and limit explosives, you'll have a chance, White added. Pittsburgh started out 4-2 with Fields under center. However, when Wilson returned from a calf injury, he was named the Steelers' starting quarterback. The team has won Wilson's first 3 starts of the season as the veteran passer has breathed new life into the offense. In Week 10, Wilson found newly acquired wideout Mike Williams for the game-winning touchdown against the Washington Commanders. It was his third passing score of the game. The Steelers face an even bigger challenge in Week 11 when the Ravens come to town. Baltimore won an epic offensive slugfest against the Bengals in Week 10. Lamar Jackson came through in the clutch as he led a 21-point fourth-quarter comeback, defeating Cincinnati 35-34. While the Ravens got a huge win against a division rival, the team's defense continues to be a weakness. Baltimore gave up 428 passing yards and 5 total touchdowns to Cincinnati last week. Bengals wideout Jamal Chase set an NFL record with a remarkable 11-catch, 264-yard, 3-touchdown performance. He had 193 yards in the team's first matchup, and now has the most receiving yards, 457, against a single opponent in one season in the history of the league. Despite the defensive deficiencies, the Ravens have won 7 of their last 8 games to erase an 0-2 start. At 7-3, they're just a half game behind the Steelers for first place in the AFC North. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh is excited for White to make his debut for the team, playing outside corner. Baltimore also added veteran receiver Deontay Johnson in a trade with the Carolina Panthers. While Johnson has suited up for the Ravens' last 2 games, he's expected to have an expanded role in Week 11. Steelers sign All-Pro Jamal Agnew to bolster roster depth. The Pittsburgh Steelers emerged victorious in a nail-biting 28-27 win over the Washington Commanders at Northwest Stadium, overcoming a fourth-quarter deficit to secure their 7th win of the season. With the victory, Pittsburgh now stands atop the AFC North as they look to further solidify their playoff contention. Trailing 17-14 at halftime, Pittsburgh's offense stayed patient, keeping pace with Washington before taking a dramatic lead late in the fourth quarter. Quarterback Russell Wilson led the game-winning drive, finding newly acquired wide receiver Mike Williams on a 32-yard touchdown pass with just over 2 minutes remaining. Williams, making his Steelers debut, rose above defenders in the end zone, completing a 7-play, 67-yard drive that silenced the Commanders' crowd. Pittsburgh's defense then held strong, preventing Washington from reclaiming the lead. Following the hard-fought victory, reports have surfaced that Pittsburgh is signing All-Pro return specialist Jamal Agnew to bolster their depth. Agnew, known for his elite return skills, spent the past 3 seasons with the Jacksonville Jaguars and scored 6 touchdowns. A former All-Pro with the Detroit Lions, Agnew led the NFL in punt return yards, punt return touchdowns, and yards per return in his rookie season. Over his 7-year career, he's found the end zone 4 times on punt returns and twice on kick returns, solidifying his reputation as one of the league's top returners. The Steelers' latest acquisition adds versatility to their special teams unit, and Agnew's speed could also enhance Pittsburgh's passing game. In his NFL career, he has recorded 77 receptions for 746 yards and 5 touchdowns. Listed as an option to contribute both on offense and as a returner, Agnew provides Pittsburgh with a dynamic weapon as they head into a pivotal divisional matchup. With their 7-2 record, the Steelers are now focused on a high-stakes Week 11 game against the Baltimore Ravens, where a victory could further cement their divisional lead and prove their legitimacy as AFC contenders. Both teams sit 1-2 in the division as the Ravens will look to topple the Steelers and claim their stronghold on the number 1 spot. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jamal Agnew? Leave your opinion in the comments.